selector, rewind selector, rewind selector. Turn it up. Rewind selector, rewind selector, rewind selector. Turn it up.
great streets of Long Beach. Make some noise. Top 16, Chelsea to no power.
Hello. All right. Hello out there, Long Beach. Do you hear me? All right. Well, I'm live out here to the general audience on the live stream as we pick up the live audience as well. All right, there we go. How you guys doing out there, Long Beach? Who was here yesterday for the Super Drift Challenge? All right, a lot of newbies out there. Packed house here tonight as we are about to get the Super Drift Challenge underway live here from beautiful downtown Long Beach. 8 drivers competing in a grade 8 bracket. And we will have another winner here tonight. Jeff Jones, our big winner, battling Michael Essa all the way into the finals. We saw some great competition, a few crashes, and some insane moments as it got dark. We were under the lights, and just a beautiful overall experience here on the streets of Long Beach, Ryan.
Yes, sir, Ryan. This is always one of my favorite tracks. As a judge, I really like how delineated the course is. We have walls everywhere, so it's very easy to see where the cars are being placed. And if somebody is about to go off the track, there's a wall there to catch them. But unfortunately for them, it ends up damaging their cars a little bit. But it makes it very easy for us to see where everybody is. The only real controversial area can be that inside clip over there. But as long as the driver's on the right side of that clip, everything is fine. So last night we had a great show. It's really interesting to see how the competition looks here in the dark. So looking forward to tonight's event as well.
Well, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to bring our 8 drivers out in front of the audience here, in front of Grandstand 18, to introduce you to drivers that you may very well be aware of or know of or have followed, and some drivers that you may not have seen for a while that are making a brand new appearance here after a little bit of time off. A really great group of drivers as we gather them up and get to bring them out on the course. Now, Ryan, before we get to the driver introductions, we talked about the uniqueness of this track, walls everywhere except for that last inside clip. We also saw some really important moments on the initiation, but walk us through this course preview that we have here that's in the digital version of what drivers and the fans can expect.
So as the drivers get up to the initiation point here, they're going to do a little flick or a little handbrake, get the car to angle. They need to not run on that rumble strip, but get out wide to the wall here. That's touch and go, number 1. Transition the car really aggressively to big angle, outside zone 1. They need to get right to the wall. Then carry a nice wide line, no handbrake pulls or anything here to outside zone number 2. Maintain the same angle as they approach the touch and go number 2 on the driver's left. Get real close to that wall. Get close to inside clip number 1 and hopefully not hit it like Dai Yoshihara did, and then finish wide on driver's left at the wall. So that's your quick course preview here at Long Beach. And this is the decel map. Now this is something that comes into play very, very often. You can see there's a decel area at the top. That's the initiation area. So we expect drivers to slow down a little bit there. Of course, as they get the car to angle, they may grab a handbrake, slow the car down a little bit. And then they're supposed to be on throttle and making good progress all the way through the course without slowdown or handbrake pulls, and only slow down again for that hairpin, which is the inside clip number 1.
And Ryan, just as we finish up loading the drivers here in front of Grandstand 18, tell us real quickly, what's the difference between a touch and go and an outside zone?
Well, a touch and go only needs to be attained in one brief little moment. So on the wall there where the touch and go is, we can see it directly down down that straightaway here under the gain bridge. So as that car gets to the wall, all it needs to do is get to a point on the wall and then get away from it. It doesn't have to fill a specific long area or a long zone, but an outside zone needs to be filled in its entirety back by the back of a car. So we have 2 outside zones and 2 touch and goes here at this track. So you have both of them in play for all these drivers to attain.
All right, well, we're missing one driver, and here he comes right now, the local guy from Long Beach. We will introduce him last. Starting from the left-hand side of Grandstand 18 up here in the judges' booth, let's kick things off with our 17-year-old phenom representing Las Vegas, Nevada, car number 513, Brandon Sorensen. And next to him, from Agora Hills, the 2019 Formula Drift 2 champion, car 999, it is Trenton Beecham. Coming out of Rancho Cucamonga, car number 171, a great driver and an awesome dude overall. Give it up for Rome Charpentier. Ladies and gentlemen, he is back. Made his appearance last night, doing it again here tonight. A Formula Drift veteran, an exemplar of drifting style from Las Vegas, Nevada. It is Forrest Wing. Made it to the finals last night, did battle with Jeff Jones, looking to try to repeat out there and stand on top of that podium. From Orange County, California, Formula Drift champion, ranked 9th in the series, car 101, it is Michael Essa. He's nicknamed the Relentless One for a reason. Representing Los Angeles, California, 13th in the championship standings, car number 818, it is Jeff Jones. This guy does the most insane transitions to outside zone 1 and is known for massive angle. Representing Covina, California, car number 13, it is Justin Pollock. And finally, your last driver representing his hometown here in Long Beach, California, car number 99, it is Kyle Mohan. These are your grade 8 drivers here tonight as we dim the lights and get ready for battle. Let's send them back and get this show underway. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, get these guys ready to go, and we will come back and kick off the Super Drift Challenge here at the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach.
My name is Farouk Kouaim.
Hey, I'm Justin Pollock.
What's up? I'm Jeff Jones.
Hey guys, Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift Pro 1 driver, and I drive Link.
I drive Link.
I drive Link.
I drive Link.
With performance this raw, you need air that's pure. We started with a firm belief that innovation could improve performance. With the success of 50 years and millions of filters behind us, we continue to look ahead. Guaranteed to protect against dirt and proven to provide up to 50% more airflow. This is filtration for the future.
What's up, everyone? Vaughn Gittin Jr. here, and I am pumped because Matt is the winner of the K&N Premium Experience, and he has no idea that I'm going to take him for a lap around the streets of Long Beach. Yo, what's up?
Dude, what's up, man?
Is your
How you
name
doing?
Mac?
Yeah?
This envelope has upgraded VIP tickets for you, a track walk, meet and greet, which we're doing right now.
Are you serious?
Yep. And if you're down, I will take you for a hot lap in my Mustang.
That would be the coolest
around
thing
the track.
ever. Are you freaking serious?
I'm
right
serious, bro.
now? Oh my
I'm
God.
serious. love smiles on faces.
I honestly just am so speechless. Like, that was the coolest thing ever. Literally the best day of my life.
He was really like, I bet you won't take the bumper off. And I was like, okay.
He did it. He did
Fair enough. Here we are.
It was so cool. Thank you.
Congrats. Big thanks to K&N for putting smiles on faces, not only with amazing product, but with experiences like this. So you guys are killing it. Keep it up.
Beautiful moment last week at the Grand Prix as we were able to share some moments there with Vaughn Gittin Jr. and a lucky fan last week at the Formula Drift Championship, round number 7. But here we are, live from Long Beach, California, the Super Drift Challenge. Ryan, we've got a grade 8 bracket that usually when we put a bracket together, it's done as a merit-based system with qualifying. This time, since we don't have qualifying, it's done at random, so we get some really interesting matchups here. Let's talk about some of the matchups, maybe how the drivers performed last night, and more or less what we can expect here for our grade 8.
Yeah, our first battle, Ryan, is Mike Essa against Justin Pollock, which sort of is a battle you'd see, near the finals in a Formula Drift event. We got Mohan versus Wang. Mohan, of course, has been doing really well at this track. I think he made it to top 16 last weekend. Forrest Wang came out last night, who hasn't driven in Formula Drift for a couple of years now and did really well.
One practice lap, by the way.
One practice lap, and then he did what he did last night. Of course, Brandon Sorensen and Trenton Beecham. And then the bottom right there, we have Jeff Jones and Rome Charpentier.
Give us a quick overview of what we call the tandem format and some of the lead chase driver goals.
Yeah, so in tandem, we're looking for that lead driver to lay down what in qualifying would get him a 100-point score. And that means initiating at the right place, getting out to the touch and go, really close to the wall at the touch and go, really close to the wall at outside zone 1, 2, and the touch and go number 2, and then close to inside clip 1. In between those scored zones, in qualifying typically, what we'll have is a big transition between each one. The cars have to get to angle quickly. They want to get to angle accurately, so not over-rotating, not under-rotating. And then, of course, it has to be a chaseable run, so that means that the driver's not decelerating where they're not supposed to, staying on the track, and putting together a run that a chase driver is able to follow. Mimicking is a big word that we use a lot, and that means that the chase driver is doing what the lead driver is doing on line, so matching the line, but also matching the transition point as well. And when you see somebody really mimicking the lead driver, it looks amazing. The chase drivers, of course, have to do what the lead driver does. They have to follow them throughout the course. They have to get out to the walls where the lead driver does. If the lead driver's not filling zones and getting out there, the chase driver should follow them as closely as possible and treat them like a moving clipping point. So our first battle, Michael Essa and Justin Pollock. Again, like last night, look at this. Nice and even there at 1,000 horsepower each.
So about to get underway here with our first battle as we see Forrest Wang heading back. He'll be in our second matchup as we start to see the sun going down, the track cooling down. That was one of the things we talked a little bit about last night, Ryan, was never before have drivers that have competed in the Formula Drift Championship had to deal with the kind of track conditions that we saw last night. And granted, all the drivers really were only able to get one practice lap. It is kind of a big ask for them to go out there and perform at the most maximum level, but I would have to say, genuinely, I was pretty impressed by what they were able to do with such short practice time.
Yeah, to that point, I was talking to Jeff Jones earlier, and he was mentioning that typically during an FD event in the daylight, it's, they're dealing with track temperatures around 112, I think, degrees, and last night it was around 76 degrees or something like that. So it's a massive gulf there between the two, and it makes a big difference in how the cars perform and how the tires grip on the surface. And it doesn't help that we've got race cars going around the track during the day, laying down a different type of rubber on the surface, which makes it inconsistent.
A lot of variable conditions that the drivers are dealing with here tonight. Not just the track, but also the walls and the competitors, which ultimately at the end of the day, that is what they're trying to best, or who they're trying to best. And Michael Essa and Justin Pollock, two guys that are top contenders in the Formula Drift Championship, are just about to get in the burnout box. So a few more drivers headed out of the hot pits, back out onto the track. a very unique setup for us here because there is so much other racing going on. And we have to quickly set up the course, set up the live stream production truck, run the cables, do everything in a very short period of time. It feels like we're always scrambling, but I can only imagine it must feel the same way for the drivers because they have to go out there and boom, perform.
Yeah, they don't get much practice time. And at this level, a lot of times the drivers get, 2-3 laps and they're ready to go. And I think that even with the track surface changes, the differences, they adapt very quickly. As you can see, the way they performed last night was amazing. And just watching a few practice laps that we just saw, everybody's putting together runs that would get them a good result at a Formula Drift event. So it seems like the temperature changes aren't really affecting them
And with
too
the
much.
exception of Forrest, at least the other 7 guys were here a week ago.
That's correct, yeah.
So they have a little bit of muscle memory. I heard Essa say that because the markers that we usually have for the initiation point, they're not there because of the other racing that's going on. He kind of didn't really remember where he was supposed to be on the track in one of his battles last night.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought, he looked so smooth and consistent. I know that he wants to pick up here and kind of continue where he left off, making it to the finals against Jeff Jones. But obviously a very tough hand dealt to him in the form of Justin Pollock.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough battle right off the bat. Justin did make a pretty critical error last night in one of his battles, and it kind of unlike him, but that's kind of the risk you take when you're throwing the car the way that Justin throws his car from the touch and go to outside zone 1, the kind of that aggressive flick. If you don't catch it just right at the right moment, the car is going to over-rotate like it did on Justin last night. So we'll see how things work out for him tonight. Mike Essa, virtually here qualified first, and Justin qualified 8th in our, random draw. So Michael Essa is going to lead first. Justin will chase first.
Well, we know these guys can hear you as they drive by. We are about to drop the first battle underway. Michael Essa and Justin Pollock kicking things off here for day 2 of the Super Drift Challenge. When the light turns red and extinguishes, that means they can go. Lead driver must leave on the extinguish, and the chase driver can leave early if he wants to. Here we go. Michael Essa through the chicane. Down the long straight, gets a nice little initiation there. Justin Pollock trying to stay in the pocket as they come through turn 9. Great job by Michael Essa out to the touch and go. And Pollock surging forward, nearly almost making contact as they get to outside zone 2. Back around to that outside touch and go, and a clean start here by these 2 top contenders, Michael Essa and Justin Pollock.
That was a nice set of runs from these 2 drivers. You can see Michael Essa getting right out to outside to the touch and go. Could have been a little deeper in outside zone 1, and I think he had a handbrake pull there as we watch this replay. You can see all the way out to the touch and go as he rotates. Watch his back wheel right there. He's got a handbrake pull. All that does in this situation is give Justin Pollock the opportunity to get a little bit closer. And you can see that he takes advantage of that and stays nice and close through outside zone 2. He doesn't quite get as deep into that touch and go number 2 as Mike Essa did, but nice and tight on inside clip 1 through to the finish.
So good start here, Ryan. You picked out some things for the fans to take a look at. It was a pretty clean initiation, and from Justin, we saw that really quick snap, trying to get in the pocket. How do you think that he did overall on the proximity side of things? Was he able to take advantage of the areas that Michael Essa more or less left open to him? And then as far as Essa's run, it really didn't seem like he had too many mistakes.
No, he didn't, Ryan. He was just a little bit off outside zone 1, Michael Essa that is, and he had that handbrake pulled right after outside zone 1. Did pretty well in outside zone 2. Justin, his mimic was amazing from touch and go 1 to outside zone 1, and that replay especially, you could see the way his car rotated. Oh, and we have a cone hit. So that will be a restart, and you can see both drivers saw the restart light, and they are turning around to go back to the start line.
So the designation or the design of that cone structure there is called a chicane. It's meant to make the lead driver leave that area of the course just a little bit slower than the chase driver. And the whole point of it is to get both drivers into that first corner together so they can be as close as possible. That means there is a responsibility on the lead driver not to hit one of those cones. However, the chase drivers has clear air. If they want to leave early, get out a little bit further, that's perfectly fine. But the lead driver has a few more constraints in place, and one of them is not hitting those cones.
Yeah, those cones ensure that if they do try to cheat in any way, getting through there, they're going to get caught.
Clean start here. Now Justin Pollock takes the lead against Michael Essa coming down that straight. Nice initiation in tandem by both drivers. Little hiccup there as Pollock tries to get back on the gas. Michael Essa makes a great adjustment. Huge Michael Essa loses it in the chase position. At first glance, looks like a devastating mistake there for Michael Essa. But Justin Pollock was carrying massive angle through that second outside zone. We saw really close proximity, almost maybe some contact on initiation. But let's take a look first at what happens here to Essa, and then we'll go back to the majority of the run. Ryan, is he just over-rotating there?
That's all it is, Ryan. It looks like he was on throttle trying to keep up with Justin, and the angle of the car was so high there that I guess he just over-rotated the car a little bit, and he managed to catch it. He didn't spin fully, but you know, we call that kind of a half spin, I guess you can call it, and had to catch it, straighten up, and that's going to be an incomplete for Michael Essa. So looking at it from the start line, you can see Justin gets through that chicane nice and clean, gets the car a little bit of a flick there, gets the car to angle, and Michael Essa is right on him. You can see Michael Essa is closer to JTP than JTP was to Mike on his chase. So I think Justin's doing a great job in the lead, though. Look how deep he goes in outside zone 2, maybe 6 inches away from the wall there. But Michael Essa just can't hang on to that angle through that area, and unfortunately is going to be given an incomplete as Justin was doing his job in the lead. There was no slowdown there from Justin that would have caused Michael to spin out.
Well, I think the results are going to be obvious here. Let's make it official as the scores come in. We got 3 judges going 1, 2. That's a majority, and that'll move Justin Pollock on as it is a unanimous victory for car number 13. Michael Essa making it to the finals last night in day 1. Has to bow out of competition here early. And Ryan, at that level, at that pace, sometimes it's hard to hold the line if you're just on that ragged edge, and that seems like what happened there to Michael Essa.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ryan. And kudos to Kyle Mohan here. Had engine trouble last night, and he's back here with a fresh one in there, I presume, overnight.
It was a dry sump issue, too much oil. That's what was burning out. But the reason why Forrest Wang is actually leading here is because he is continuing to have those issues. So they've decided to allow Wang to go out front, and you can tell that the problems with Mohan's car are persistent, and I think there's a lot of credit due here. We'll talk about the run, but there's a lot of credit due here to Kyle Mohan for letting Forrest Wang get the lead out front, and I think it just had to do with the reliability or lack of reliability his vehicle has right now. Could present kind of a dangerous situation, and so he said, Forrest, you take the lead first, go out there and do your lead run, and then we'll see how it goes from there. He may or may not make it back for this second half of the run. Okay, yeah, you can see that he definitely had some engine trouble there. Some kind of, putting power to the ground wasn't really happening for him. He didn't get out wide to the touch and go behind Forrest, and did have a straighten there between outside zone 1 and 2, so it'll be an incomplete for him, but I'm glad to see that he got the car worked on overnight and got it here this morning, or today, to compete and put on an effort. Chase drivers can hit the cones. We're not worried about that because the chicane is built for the lead car, so that's not an issue. But we do see Kyle heading back to the start line, so looks like he's going to get himself into the lead position, and hopefully his car is working well enough that he can put together a good lead run. And you were talking about this last night, but just to focus a little attention on the lead run from Forrest Wang, even though he's been out of competition for a couple of years now, it does not seem like he's lost much of a step. No, he's on throttle, at angle, getting close to the walls. Last night he said, I don't know, I haven't driven in a little while, I should do okay, and he came out swinging right away. I haven't seen any concerns from him at all. He's getting out to the zones like he should. There's no flow issue. He's rotating the car really well, and it looks really great. And it seems like a big test for him, assuming that he gets the win in this battle here with Mohan having an incomplete, is going to be Justin Pollock, because Pollock's car is his competition car that he has in 2021. Here we go, second half of the battle, Mohan leading the way. Wang's got to be careful here. Don't get pitched off. Doing a good job so far, keeping enough distance. A very veteran move here. Mohan does have that incomplete. This is a tricky part in this area, and he manages to go a little ragged edge there, but he holds angle in the car, and that will be an easy advancement for Forrest Wang. I see the judges quickly putting their scores in. We'll make it official here, but Ryan, in a position that Forrest was in where you have an incomplete, from the lead driver, in this case Kyle Mohan, it seems like the safe thing to do is be a little bit careful there, give some space, and then close the door towards the end, right?
Yeah, not for Forrest though. You can see he's nice and close right at initiation. I'm sure they had a bit of a talk, and maybe Kyle gave him a sign at the start line that he was good to go, so Forrest trusted him and got nice and close, and he kept good proximity throughout the run, despite a car that might not be performing at the level that he wants it to in the lead there from Kyle Mohan. But great run from both of them, despite Kyle's problems, and it looks like Forrest Wang is going to move on.
The man in black, car number 808, Forrest Wang, moving on into the Final Four. He will do battle with Justin Pollock. Now we're going to be moving on to the right-hand side of our bracket. We're going to see Brandon Sorensen and Trenton Beecham. Brandon's dad told me last night that this is his backup car. They were struggling a little bit with it. Only really had 300 usable horsepower. Not sure if that's the story today, but he did look a little distant from what we typically see from him in competition.
It looks like he got it working, though.
Okay.
Looks like he got it working. They went to Willow Springs today. They did some testing.
Oh, he did.
There was a little issue with the nitrous system coming on at the wrong RPM. So apparently he's got it figured out. About 99% is what his dad told me a few minutes ago. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's your matchup there. The young kid, number 17 years old now, going up against Trenton Beecham, the 2019 Formula Drift Pro 2 champion, the last champion of that era. They will do battle next here on the streets of Long Beach. And it looks like our first driver has done his burnout. Beecham now in the background there, getting ready to warm up his tires. And over the years with vehicle development, the way that it's been, going back 15 years ago, it was straight line burnouts, get the rears warm. But now with 1,000+ horsepower, the fronts definitely need to get some heat in them as well. So you see them doing these figure 8 burnouts to get heat in both the front and the rears for maximum grip. And especially on this course where you have asphalt, concrete, and variable surface changes from inside the parking lot here going out onto shoreline, you definitely want to make sure that you have the grip level that you feel confident with.
Yeah, right, it's important. And previously, like you said, they used to just do rolling burnouts where just the rear wheels would be warmed up and the fronts would remain cold. So you're going into the first corner with cold fronts and warm rears. So much grip on the rear and not a whole lot in the front makes for a tricky proposition. By the end of the run, I'm sure the tires are nice and warm, but it's better to go into the first corner with all tires at the same temp, and that way you're going to have a kind of a more consistent grip level throughout the entire run. And like you said, at this event, this track goes from a road to a parking lot and back out to a road again. So you've got varying grip levels just there. You think about all the cars that are parked in these spots just throughout the year, dripping oil in the parking spot. So it's very different than what these guys are used to.
He left to go get his car fixed, and now he's backing out here. So it's a little trouble on initiation there. Does get out to the touch and go, smashing that rear bumper. But look at Beecham keeping the pressure on as they smooth back around to the second outside zone. Beecham not letting him get away, looking for any little mistake that he can capitalize on, and coming together in that last inside clip. Unbelievable bit of driving there, as Beecham looked like the aggressor overall, but we saw some good driving there from Sorensen, except for he left a little bit to be desired on that second outside zone. The first touch and go, Ryan, he crunched the bumper, but was able to kind of keep the attitude of the car somewhat stable. How did you see it here as we go back to the beginning of the run?
I think Sorensen's issue with the touch and go stems from his initiation. As we get the replay from the start line here, take a look at how Brandon's getting to angle. So he does a little flick, and then as the car rotates, it sort of pauses right there, almost goes back straight, and then he adds angle again. And as he's going around that first corner, there's low angle, but then he adds angle as he gets to the touch and go. And you can see that he kind of pushes the car into the wall there. A couple of panels falling off from that. Maybe it was the bumper. And then doesn't get out to outside zone 2 quite as well as we'd like to see. But in the chase, you can see Beecham putting on the pressure, getting nice and close. Both drivers getting around that inside clip cleanly. Nobody touched it, which is fantastic to see. And I think that initiation is what's going to hurt Brandon going into this next run. As we compare lead to lead, all Beecham has to do in that specific area is put together a good initiation. And as we compare that little area right there, I think that could hurt Brandon.
Second half of the matchup here between Brandon Sorensen and Trenton Beecham. Beecham and his spotter looking on. They know some areas where they can improve and put the needle back into their side. Sorensen is a really good chase driver. Does he have enough here for Beecham? Lights extinguished, and let's get it underway. Beecham into the initiation. Nice little snap there, much more fluid. Sorensen needs to attack, but Beecham off that touch and go, taking a crazy shallower line. He is leaving a lot to be desired in the chase, or in the lead rather. Much better job on that second outside zone. But Beecham with a huge opportunity there. Oh, and it looks like Sorensen may have straightened out right around the finish line. But Beecham, Ryan, I don't know, he didn't really seem like he helped his position in a clear and cut way with the way that he started off from the touch and go. Tell me what you saw.
It looks like Trenton in the lead may have had too much grip in his car. You can see that it looks like he has a hard time getting the car to angle. He's on throttle, but he's not able to maintain that angle that I'm guessing that he wants.
Well.
Yeah, the tires don't look like they're spinning at the rate that he would hope for in the lead position. In the chase, Brandon is not keeping up with the proximity that we'd like to see. And right there at the finish, hopefully we can get another look at that finish line area from inside clip 1 to the finish. But Trenton does get the car to angle at the right spot. You can see him on throttle. Again, not a very smoky run and not a big angle run. The transitions look really controlled. It looks like the car's having a hard time keeping the wheels lit up, as you say. In the chase there, Brandon, let's watch this finish line area here. It does look like he straightens up a bit and then gets back on the throttle, so that's going to be a big error from him. And then he had that error in the lead position as well. So this is, like he said, his backup car that he's been struggling with a little bit, but he's doing a great job of putting down a run.
Well, let's make it official. Looks like we do have the scores in from all three judges. Beecham versus Sorensen. 1 going for Beecham. 2, that'll solidify it. And is it unanimous? Yes, all 3 judges going in favor of Trenton Beecham. So he did enough, Ryan, to kind of skate by, but definitely in the next battle, he's going to probably have to try to figure out what needs to be adjusted with the grip level so he can control the car in a way maybe that he wants to.
Yeah, if you look at the way his car is moving around and you look at the way Justin Pollock's car moves throughout the track, there's a very big difference there. Justin tends to run his car a little more loose, as you can see the way the car flicks around, and it looks very easy to maneuver around the track. I'm sure it's not behind the wheel, but he makes it look easy, and that's sort of what we're looking for when we're watching these battles. How does the car behave? It looks like Trenton's wheel speed was way low, and it looked like the car was struggling, so maybe a grip issue, which of course he's dealing with a live rear axle, so a solid rear axle, while JTP has the independent rear, so of course their setups are going to vary, but hopefully he can get that figured out for the next battle.
Next matchup here, last night's winner, the relentless one, Jeff Jones, taking on the hard-charging Rome Charpentier. This ought to be a good one, Ryan. Jeff Jones put himself in a good position last night, did what was needed to get done, taking out Michael Essa, in the finals. But Rome is such a great driver, and he gives 110% every time. Very smart, calculated. Here we go. Jones out to the touch and go. Oh, the attitude of the car. Wow, that was an unbelievable save.
What a catch
by Jeff Jones to not completely grenade the front left part of his car into the touch and go coming out of turn 9. Ryan, and we've seen that, I don't know, many times where you hit the rear of the vehicle into a wall and that front end just smashes, but he made an incredible save there.
I want to see if we can see his hands frantically getting that car straightened back out. Look at that hand over hand. He's trying to get the car, because at that point he's pointing at the wall, and somebody with slower hands would have ended up in the wall, no doubt, but he knows his car really well, and he managed to keep it off the wall. That was some supreme driving from Jeff Jones. That was great.
So Jeff Jones, unfortunately, is now at a very large deficit. What you guys have labeled as incomplete essentially is equivalent to having a 0 in a scored run scenario. That means that Rome Charpentier just needs to get through this next run in order to move on. And he needs to do so without making an equivalent or worse mistake to Jones. Basically without getting an incomplete. So it is very much in Rome's hands, and the benefit that he's going to have here, Ryan, is that he's going to have clear air in front of him, as he will now be the lead driver.
Yeah, that level of aggression from Jones is definitely welcomed. We love watching that kind of driving. You know, it would have been great if he'd kept it maybe a few inches not as deep into the wall, and you wouldn't have lost control in the way that he did. But that's, again, the risk of driving that aggressively. Sometimes you just overstep by a matter of inches here, really, is all it was. And he puts on a great show. Jeff was saying earlier, you know, his car doesn't have the overhang that some of the other cars have. So when he gets close to the wall like that, the difference is his rear tire is that much closer to the wall. So makes it a lot different in terms of grip levels, because not a lot of other rear tires are getting that close to the wall. Not an excuse, but just an explanation sometimes why the rear doesn't seem like it's as planted in a car with a short overhang like that.
Yeah, and I noticed the guys did a couple more burnouts there to try to get a little bit more heat. They weren't able to have the benefit of a full run, but it's going to be Rome to lose here. He's got an advantage over Jeff Jones coming in to the foreground now. Just needs to hold it together, and so far so good. Careful there, Rome. Jeff Jones giving it to him in this last section here, diving in, and that is all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Tremendous performance there from Rome Charpentier, not buckling under the pressure. That'll be an automatic win, and for last night's champion of Jeff Jones, came back with a pretty solid, aggressive lead, Ryan, but it's just gonna be too little, too late.
That's exactly right, Ryan. Jeff did a great job in the chase, really pushing hard, but coming back from that deficit of an incomplete on his lead run is really, really hard. Basically, you need an incomplete from Rome, and he did not perform an incomplete here. He put together a really great lead run, so I believe Rome is going to probably move on to the next battle.
Let's make it official here. It will be a unanimous victory for car 171, Rome Charpentier. He is going to the Final Four. So for Jeff Jones, it's a pretty successful weekend overall. Does not hurt to get yourself a victory here at the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach, but it will not be a repeat. We've got 4 drivers left. We are now entering what we call the Final Four. Just like NCAA basketball, there are 4 drivers remaining. It'll be Justin Pollock versus Forrest Wang. The winner of that will go to the finals. And then, Ryan, we will see Trent Beecham take on Rome Charpentier. And the winner of that will face the winner of Pollock and Wang in the finals. We are allowed to do a third place battle if the track and the officials say we have enough time with our curfew here. So we will get some information from the race officials about whether or not that will fly. Well, let's do this next battle. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm hyped on this one.
Looking forward to this one, Ryan. The driving style of Pollock and Wang, fairly similar in terms of...
Good matchup here. This is like 2 strikers.
In terms of the way they move their cars around, the way that Wang really swings the car from touch and go 1 to outside 1 is pretty similar to the way that Justin does it. You know, you've got a different kind of feel from one car to the other. The sound from Justin's car is a lot more aggressive, of course.
Yeah.
You've got that smooth inline 6 that Forrest Wang has in his S15, but very similar to the way they move around on the track. I think Justin might have a little bit of a speed advantage on Forrest. Forrest has never been the fastest driver, always the most stylish, but in this situation, we'll see how Justin can adapt behind him, because I believe Forrest is going to be leading first. So it'll be Forrest leading Pollock as the draw put Wang in 5th place and Pollock in 8th. So that means that Forrest will be leading first.
I want to underline something that you said there, because it's really interesting. We touched on this a little bit, but Justin Pollock in this competition is driving his 2021 competition vehicle. So this is, in the drifting world, this is kind of like the highest you can get,
Sure
right?
thing.
And Wang is driving a vehicle from a couple of years ago. I'm not sure what he's done to it in the off-season or in the downtime. So the matchup of power will be really interesting here. But you know that phrase, you know, styles make fights. The style between these 2 guys is definitely one that, as a fan, I really want to see, because Justin has a tendency to do these really big and amazing stylish initiations and transitions, and Forrest is so fluid and smooth, but still with so much angle.
Yeah. You don't have to wait much longer, Ryan.
Here we go, Forrest Wang trying to get enough grip down there on the initiation. Now back on throttle. There's that style out to the touch and go, just nicking it and starting off great as a lead driver. Justin Pollock trying not to get lost in the smoke and keep proximity here as we get in this final corner. And that was a heck of a lead run by Forrest Wang. That time he did get out to the touch and go. He also got out to that first outside zone, Ryan, and I think that's what we were expecting to see.
Yeah, you're right, Ryan. This is a textbook from Forrest Wang. This is what he is known for, the way that he throws the car around.
It looked like Pollock was maybe pushing a little bit hard from touch and go 1 to outside zone 1 and had to make a slight adjustment there. Is that a speed maybe a factor there?
I think it is, and that's why the next run is going to be really interesting to see how Justin will perform in the lead without anybody ahead of him. So you can see here in the chase, Justin is nice and close. Forrest really hangs it up there on the touch and go, almost doing it like an outside zone instead of a touch and go. It's something that we saw from Dai Yoshihara last weekend as well, where there's a longer hang on that outside zone that sometimes the chase driver is not expecting in that area. And they're expecting to transition really quickly, but all of a sudden that lead car is still hanging on. So you're trying to mimic what they're doing, and it can kind of throw your tempo, your flow off, if you will.
Yeah.
So
and usually when we come into competition, you know, the guys have a practice with their competitors, the spotters up here, they're logging sector speeds and all that kind of stuff. They have a good idea. Justin for sure has a good idea, or a general idea of how fast Forrest is going to move through this course. So the chase driver does need to make adjustments. At the same time, I think this next battle, as you say, is going to be very telling in terms of how quick Justin's car is relative to Forrest. Here we go. Justin Pollock, nice little initiation there to angle, getting out to the touch and go as well. Oh my gosh, right out to that first outside zone, beautifully done. And now he is trying to leave Forrest in the dust as Forrest comes into this last inside flip, not able to close the door there. And we did see Pollock give one back, a little right uppercut with an elbow that Forrest tried to defend.
yeah, the way Justin went through outside zone 1 was phenomenal. Look at the rotation, look how close he gets to the wall, and look at the angle that he maintains. You can see very little, if any, movement from those front wheels on that Ford Mustang. He is at angle and he maintains it, gets out really wide to outside zone 2. And you can see that in the chase position there, Forrest wasn't really able to mimic the line all the way through outside zone 1 to outside zone 2, but manages to back the car up to get to outside zone 2. So you can see there, Forrest is way off of outside zone number 1 in the chase position. So that puts him at a big disadvantage, but look at it, the handbrake pulls he's making there. He's getting the car worked back, and he gets right back on the same line, although not within proximity of Justin Pollock. So a nice move from Justin there to make it somewhat not unattainable, but difficult to follow.
I don't want to be you. All right, looks like the scores are in. JTP comes fighting back with an incredible lead run of his own. Was it enough to outdo Forrest Wang? 1, 2, and 3. It is unanimous. Justin Pollock takes out Forrest Wang and is moving on. And for Forrest Wang, a tremendous job overall. It is such a tough draw to get Pollock in any part of the competition, let alone the Final Four. Pollock will be going to the finals. If we are allowed to do a third-place battle, Wang will compete for that third-place battle against the loser of Beecham and Rome Charpentier, which is going to be the next battle that we are going to see.
So in this battle, we're hoping that Trenton is able to get his car back up to spec, get that wheel speed up.
Yes, absolutely. We'll definitely pay attention to that. There is your matchup. You can see where each driver's coming from, along with the horsepower that they're bringing to the table. Trenton Beecham will be the following driver on the first battle. Rome will be leading out front. Rome has done his burnout, and he's awaiting Trenton to get some heat in those tires for this Final Four matchup. Now, Ryan, you've watched hundreds of runs from these guys over the years in both Pro 2 for Beecham, now coming up to Pro in Rome, all through last year and this year. Like, what do you expect in this matchup?
Well, it comes down to what I just saw from their previous runs, and I'm just hoping that Trent can get his car to perform the way he wants it to. It's a tricky balance that you have to sort of build into your car, and that is, can I get it loose enough that it is easy enough to drive and it flows through the course where I want it to? but also I need to be gripped up enough that I can keep up to the other car when they're leading. So it's a knife's edge, I think. It's a difficult proposition. It comes down to how much power you have and what's, you know, the components and the setup in your car. And I'm just hoping he can get it right so we can have a good battle here.
Final four underway. Right-hand side of the bracket. The winner goes to the finals. Rome leads the way with Beecham chasing him down. Rome gets out to a good jump there. Beecham trying to close the door as Rome pushes out to the touch and go. Misses outside zone one, but Beecham is falling behind. It does not look like he has been able to make the adjustments there. Fell back in an opportunity where he could have taken advantage of that. Very little time to make adjustments between these matchups, Ryan, and it looks like maybe the car is still not exactly where Beecham needs it to be, especially when we get to this second part of the course. Take us through it.
Yeah, watch Rome here getting nice and wide out to the touch and go. Could have been a little bit closer, but really good flow. In the chase, though, Trent, you can see, is having an issue getting his car rotated. Doesn't fully straighten, but definitely not at the angle that you'd like to see through that area. And then as Rome fills outside zone 2 and transitions the car for the touch and go, you can see Trent on a much tighter line, which allows him to get that proximity back, but he definitely made some compromises to get there.
All right, so here we go. As we watch this matchup get repaired back up there, Rome Charpentier will do the chase obligations this time around. Both drivers looking for that berth into the finals. One driver is going to make it through. And for Rome Charpentier, I think in this position, Ryan, where it looks like Rome may have a little bit of advantage overall, the chase driver here should do enough to try to get the win, but maybe not push too hard to where unnecessary contact or collision comes into play. Let's see if he does that. Or can Beecham come back with a flawless lead? There we go, Beecham. Great initiation there. Back on throttle early. Uh-oh, he misses the touch and go. Watch out now. Careful, buddy. Careful, careful, careful. Oh! No!
You never know what's going to happen.
What
Ryan.
happened? Oh, my eyes were attenuated to Beecham nearly hitting the wall. I did not focus on Rome in the chase position. Look at Beecham going so close to the tire barrier. What's your read on this, Ryan, from Rome's position?
Well, from Rome's position, he's just hoping that the lead car doesn't get into the wall in front of him, because he's coming in at full throttle behind him, and he wants to, you know, make sure that he can flow through there smoothly as well. It looked like Trenton had a little bit of trouble keeping the car at angle there at the touch and go. As we get the replay, there we go. You can see the car, a couple of angle changes, didn't get all the way out wide to that touch and go. Transitions for outside zone 1, got the car to angle there. It actually looked like a smooth transition, and you can see he's right on the outer edge of the rubber that's laid down at very high degree of angle. And in the chase, Rome is probably thinking, I'm back where not a lot of drivers are driving. Maybe the grip level isn't as high through there, but Trenton managed to make it through the run without incompleting, without spinning, without having any problems. So in that situation, we turn into who had an incomplete, who didn't, who had a clean run, who didn't. And it looks like in this situation, Rome is the only one that did have an incomplete.
Wow, tough break there. It looks like there was probably, I guess what you're saying there is there's not enough of a mistake from Beecham to say that it was his fault for what happened to Rome.
Exactly. He was offline a little bit at the touch and go, but did outside zone 1 well, got out really wide on that line, and was going towards outside zone number 2, and there you go.
So close, yet so far. Unfortunately, one little mistake. It is unanimous. Trenton Beecham will be moving on into the finals. A heartbreaker there for Rome Charpentier. It looks like he had it locked up, but that is one of the crazy and unique things about this sport, is you just never know what's going to happen next.
All right, so looking at the bracket that we have up now, Pollock and Beecham are going to be going up against each other in the finals. And if we are going to do that third place battle, it'll be Forrest Wang versus Rome Charpentier.
All right, Ryan, so we are now going to be preparing. We have been given approval for the third place battle. We'll take a quick break, get those tires changed, and come back with our third place battle between Rome Charpentier and Forrest Wang. We'll be right back.
NGK makes ignition coils. Why? Because we prefer a running partner that can keep pace. We know ignition, and since our spark plugs don't run alone, we put some of our energy and expertise into making better coils. NGK ignition coils are engineered to OE durability and performance. And because we race to win, we improve the design, testing, and validation of our coils for better performance. NGK spark plugs and coils, better together.
Your body is a machine with 800 horses coursing through its veins. Ignite it. NOS Energy, human horsepower.
My name came up a lot, it sounds more when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about.
What's up, everyone? Vaughn Gittin Jr. here, and I am pumped because Matt is the winner of the K&N Premium Experience, and he has no idea that I'm going to take him for a lap around the streets of Long Beach. Yo, what's up?
Dude, what's up, man?
Is your
How you
name
doing?
Mac?
Yeah?
This envelope has upgraded VIP tickets for you, a track walk, meet and greet, which we're doing right now.
Are you serious?
Yep. And if you're down, I will take you for a hot lap in my Mustang.
That would be the coolest
around
thing
the track.
ever. Are you freaking serious?
I'm
right
serious, bro.
now? Oh my
I'm
God.
serious. I love smiles on faces.
I honestly just am so speechless. Like, that was the coolest thing ever. Literally the best day of my life.
He was really like, I bet you won't take the bumper off. And I was like, okay.
He did it. He did
Fair
it.
enough. Here we are.
It was so cool. Thank you.
Congrats. Big thanks to K&N for putting smiles on faces, not only with amazing product, but with experiences like this. So you guys are killing it. Keep it up.
All right, all right, all right. We are back here in beautiful downtown Long Beach for the Super Drift Challenge. We have made our way through another competition where we will see Justin Pollock and Trenton Beecham in the finals. But first, we are going to be going back to the third place battle of Forrest Wang versus Rome Charpentier. A heartbreaker for Rome in that last battle against Beecham. But he's got another chance. Forrest Wang losing to Pollock, he's got another chance. And there is your final matchup there, Justin Pollock and Trenton Beecham. They'll be waiting in the wings as we get this third place battle underway. Had to change a rear set of tires. Basically, a rear set gets about 2 laps on this course before it is no longer usable. So we'll see these guys go back there, get their tires warmed up, and it'll be Forrest Wang taking the lead against Rome Charpentier. Ryan, good flow here tonight. It's nice and cool, beautiful. Everything you'd expect for September in Long Beach. what are your thoughts on the competition so far?
Sorry about that. So far, so good, Ryan. I like that.
Anybody going to pull you aside and be like, hey, I got a bone to pick with you afterwards?
Last night, nobody did, but who knows about tonight? No, I mean, it's always a challenge in the dark at a track, even if you're comfortable with, especially here with all the walls, because so many corners are blind. You don't really know what's around that corner until you get there. Like you said, everybody's relying on muscle memory. They're relying on what they did last weekend. And in this case, Forrest is only, what, maybe 5 or 6 laps that he's put in since yesterday, I guess, and he hasn't driven here since probably, what, 2018 maybe? When was the last time Forrest drove here? Remember?
It's been a couple of years, and he's going to be doing battle here against Rome to find out if those years made a difference. From the driving so far, it looks pretty amazing. Oh, there we go. Deep into that touch and go. Pretty close out. Oh no, Rome surging forward. Flames coming off the front right as he was left foot braking, trying to adjust. Surging forward on the attack. He's going to get pinched off on that last inside clip. And chasing Forrest Wang can be quite a challenge, but Ryan, it looked like he did a lot to kind of fulfill some of those lead driver goals.
Yeah, Forrest did a great job in the lead, but you can see, watch where Rome is right here. Watch the angle and the line.
Oh, yeah.
But you can see the sparks just flying off. He's left foot braking as much as he possibly can, it looks like, to keep that car behind Forrest, but he's not following the line.
Forrest didn't know that there's no decel zone and outside zone when he had a little
handbrake.
But was Rome in enough proximity for that to affect him?
Well, Rome was already in a really bad spot from touch and go 1, where he was on the wrong line with very poor angle. So of course he's going to catch up to Forrest in that area. Of course, it's not what we want to see from Forrest, but the chase car also has some responsibility to get themselves placed where they're supposed to be in the chase position.
And just to be clear, when you guys are looking for, where you're looking for a decel to happen is where it becomes something that you can visually see. You see a visual change in the attitude of the car. Sometimes an e-brake pull, it could potentially do that depending on how severe it is, but it may not if it doesn't change the visual attitude or forward momentum of the vehicle. Is that right?
Exactly, yeah. If you can really see a slowdown from the lead car, then that's an issue in a non-decel area.
All right, here we go. Rome back around to do battle against Forrest Wang. Nice job on the touch and go. All right, he's giving some back now. Forrest has got to push the pace. Rome's got a lot of grip here. Final corner, can he get into the pocket around this last inside clip? Gets a little bit into it there. And this one kind of pulled a little bit back into the camp of Rome Charpentier. Did not disappoint in that lead run, Ryan.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me how well Forrest can move his car backwards going towards outside zone 2. Right here you can see that Rome gets out to the touch and go. Forrest is a little bit inside. Rome gets okay out to outside zone 1. Again, Forrest is a little bit inside. Rome gets out to outside zone 3. That's where Forrest is able to back his car up and kind of mimic his line a lot better than he was earlier. That's something that Forrest seems very adept at. Forrest does run over that inside clip with his front right tire. Not the worst we've seen, but still touching that inside clip is something we don't like the drivers to do. But look how deep that Rome Charpentier went there to outside zone number 2, mere inches away from that wall, which is exactly where we like to see him positioned.
So in just thinking about how you guys score this, you know, if perhaps Forrest had the better of the leads, and then you're looking at the chase runs, the question would be, did Rome do enough in his chase to kind of offset that and potentially give you guys an opportunity for one more time? But if he didn't, then it might be leaning towards Forrest potentially as doing better overall.
Well, since all 3 judges are already, everybody has their scores, and I could say I feel like Charpentier made a bigger compromise than Chase.
Well, there it is. 1 for Forrest, 2 for Forrest. Your 3rd place winner is Forrest Wang, coming back out of, not sure if it was retirement, taking a break, or just having a good time, to give you guys a show here tonight and get that 3rd place trophy. Rome Charpentier, a valiant effort, but not enough against Forrest Wang, as he will be getting 4th. All right, that sets the stage, Ryan, for the last 2 positions available on that 1, 2, 3 box. It's going to be either Justin Pollock or Trenton Beecham. Both Mustangs, both completely different style of Mustangs. As we take a look at some of the numbers here from Justin Pollock and Trenton Beecham. Looks like, okay, we are getting the T signal from our race control up here, and that basically means that Trent Beecham has called a competition timeout. Tell us what that is.
Well, Trent in this case is asking for up to 5 minutes to look at his car. So you can see him driving back down the initiation straight there, and he's going to be coming around slowly through the course. There's an issue with his car that he needs to repair. So hopefully he can do that in the 5 minutes that will be allotted to him. The 5 minutes is only going to start once his mechanics get his hands on the car. So he has to, first of all, get himself back to the pit lane area, and then his mechanics will potentially have a look at the car without touching it. And as soon as they get their hands on there, Kevin's going to start the 5-minute clock.
Excellent explanation there, Ryan. I think, yeah, let's take a quick commercial break. Let's let Trenton Beecham get his program together, get back out there and see these finals take place under the lights here from the streets of Long Beach. So we'll be right back here from Super Drift.
My name is Farouk Kouaim.
Hey, I'm Justin Pollock.
What's up? I'm Jeff Jones. Hey guys, Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift Pro 1 driver, and I drive Link.
I drive Link.
I drive Link.
I drive Link.
With performance this raw, you need air that's pure. We started with a firm belief that innovation could improve performance. With the success of 50 years and millions of filters behind us, we continue to look ahead. Guaranteed to protect against dirt and proven to provide up to 50% more airflow. This is filtration for the future.
We are back. We are about halfway through the competition timeout, maybe a little bit deeper for Trenton Beecham. A quick recap here from the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach on the streets of Long Beach for Super Drift Challenge. We saw Justin Pollock win his matchup against Michael Essa. We saw Forrest Wang win his matchup against Kyle Mohan. And then Trenton Beecham took out Brandon Sorensen, and Rome Charpentier defeated Jeff Jones. Our road to the finals finds that Pollock was able to take out Wang and Beecham was able to take out Rome. As we get a look back here, Ryan, at some of the runs that kind of got us started off, set the tempo, and then got us deep into competition. And your thoughts?
Yeah, so far we've had some great battles. We've had a couple of car issues out there that have given some drivers some issues, and we do have an issue right now with one of the cars. Hopefully we can get it fixed so we can put together our finals. But you can see here Justin Pollock really laying down some great lead runs. That style that he has while being able to do that at the speed that he's achieving through the course, and the accuracy, it's pretty impressive. Right there you can see Rome's spin going to outside zone number 2, but look at his lead here against Forrest Wang, getting right out to that outside zone 2 area again. So accurate at that speed.
We've got a taste of just about every possible facet I could think of at a Formula Drift event. We've got a couple crashes, a couple spin outs, guys going to the walls, close drifting. It's been really cool and a fun experience, and super grateful to all the event organizers. We are hearing potentially there may be some bad news from Trenton Beecham. It does look like he was unable to fix his vehicle. We're going to confirm that, but if that is true, that means Justin Pollock would do a victory lap here. Hopefully he'll give you guys some nice burnouts. but it does look like we've got some bad news from Trenton Beecham.
That's a real shame, Ryan. We would have enjoyed seeing the all-Mustang final here at Long Beach. It's unfortunate, but it happens more often than we'd like to see with the cars that are operating at such a high level like this. Fortunately, it happens from time to time. Yeah, so with Trenton Beecham potentially going out, that gives Justin Pollock the win here at our Super Drift Challenge, Long Beach Grand Prix.
Yeah, tough break there for Trenton Beecham. Not the way we want to see a finals go down, but Justin Pollock has learned that he will be the winner. He will go out and do a final lap, and then we'll bring all three drivers down. Forrest Wang, Trenton Beecham, and Justin Pollock for the trophy ceremony. It'll be right down on track for you guys to check out the champagne celebration and give some thanks for the drivers that did some wonderful drifting for us here tonight.
I'm sure Trenton Beecham is happy that he's having this mechanical issue here tonight.
In the finals.
Yeah, and not, in a few weeks at Irwindale.
Yeah, I mean, good opportunity for him to get some eyes on the vehicle, figure out what needs to happen as he moves into the last round of the year. A little bit of a lackluster way to finish the finals, but that is the nature of a lot of automotive and racing in general, is that you have these attrition problems that can happen. I think we kind of noticed that there was not something 100% right with his vehicle throughout some of the battles in competition. It just happened to rear its head at a time when he could have potentially taken home a victory here tonight.
Yeah, these issues never arise at an opportune moment. It's just going to happen when it happens. And as we get to the finals, the cars have been through so much. By the time you get to the last battle of the night, I guess there's a higher chance that it's going to happen later on in the night like this.
Well, we are hearing the sound of that Falcon Tires Ford Mustang. Justin Pollock, he is going to be your winner. I imagine he's going to give us quite the smoke show here as he gets some heat in those tires, and essentially Ryan heads out on a victory lap without having to do battle here in the finals. A crazy occurrence, but certainly in many ways well-deserved for Justin Pollock. Tremendous driving from him throughout tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a 360, Ryan. I don't know where he's going to do it, but I want to see one.
Okay.
I hope his spotter heard me. He radios it to him.
Yes, that would be perfectly fine. All he needs to do is basically do what he's doing right there, and he's shown the vehicle can function.
Yeah,
so he will get the automatic win. And here he goes. We'll lay back. Justin Pollock, the champion here on day 2, Super Drift Challenge.
Risky move, Ryan. Risky move. I like that he turned it around. That was fun. Give the fans over there a little bit of a show.
This is what I was hoping for.
Ryan, the way he threw that card outside zone 2
yes,
was unnecessary, but phenomenal. He already won. He had nothing to prove. The way he threw that card outside zone 2 was pretty amazing. For nothing other than the show tonight. He wasn't going up head-to-head competition with anybody, and you could hear him lift a little bit as he got to the wall, because I'm sure he was a little bit worried for a second there, but it looked amazing. Great job from him. Great job from Forrest Wang as well, coming out of retirement tonight. And last night as well, putting on a great show for everyone. So we have our 3 winners coming down, our first, second, and third place finishers getting lined up. We'll do our podium ceremony here at Long Beach.
Seeing the officials come out on course. We are now getting Justin Pollock out there, your champion. Thank you guys for all those live in attendance. Really fun night out here for the Super Drift Challenge at the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. And are we going to be getting out Beecham as well, or is he going to be preoccupied with the vehicle? Let me find that out. All right, I see him. All right, let's announce your 3 winners here tonight. First and third place, making his way back, showing us some of that true style that we all love. Give it up for Forrest Wing. And sadly, we don't see his car out there. We didn't get to see him do battle, but had a heroic effort here this weekend. Coming in second place, Trenton Beecham. And finally, quite the showstopper, has given us so many memories, including that pucker effect on outside zone 2, Pollock. That was crazy. Great job, your champion here at Super Drift Day 2, Justin Pollock. We'll now turn it over to Gemma Bannon, who's going to be retiring, 39 years office manager. She's going to be doing our trophy ceremony. Thank you, Gemma. Drivers, you guys can go ahead and head over to the podium, and let's get the awards underway. All right, so as the drivers make their way over, thank you all the fans, both live here and around the world watching this very unique competition. Thank you, Ryan, for joining me up here in the booth as we kind of pulled it together and made this event happen. Super glad that went off without too many hitches.
Pretty smooth, Ryan, pretty smooth.
We see the great old Dirty Panda down there getting things done, making it happen. Trenton Beecham getting his third place trophy. Excuse me, his second place trophy. And last night we almost saw Rome Charpentier get his eye popped out with a cork. So let's be careful down there, boys. Yeah. All right, well, as these guys finish up the trophy ceremony, thank you guys once again being down here with us at the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach, at the streets of Long Beach here for the Super Drift Challenge with everybody from the Grand Prix Association and Ryan Lontaine. I am Ryan Sage. We'll see you guys next year.
Thanks, everyone.